Frame set. What is a frame? A frame is multiple web pages displaying at once. Desire to Learn discussions are actually 4 separate web pages. Frame. Background information. Frames are a newer concept, starting with HTML4. Doc type informs the browser to expect a frame. A meta tag informs the browser of which character set to expect, such as English or Chinese. Editors or templates provide doc type and meta tag information. Frames don't exist as a viewable web page. No content on the frame page, aside from the title. A framed web page doesn't have a body tag. Again, the visible content is delivered by other web pages. We need to understand 2 tags and some attributes to build a framed page. The first tag is frameset, which is similar to a table. Frameset carves the browser window up. It can carve it into rows. It can carve it into columns. We'll talk about how to specify the number of rows or columns and how to enter the values in a moment. Frameset requires an ending frameset tag. Again, the frameset carves the empty window into rows or columns. The number of values listed indicate the number of rows or columns to make. The value can be in pixels, such as equals 300, or percent, such as equals 50%. You may omit one value and let the browser figure out how much space is left using the asterisk, such as equals 300, comma, asterisk. So you can use the following code to create 2 rows. Frameset, rows equals 30%, comma, asterisk, and then in the frameset. That means the first row will occupy 30% of the space, and the second row will occupy whatever is left over, in this case, 70%. The same works for columns. In this case, the first column occupies 30% of the window, and then the asterisk creates the second column with the leftover space, in this case, 70%. Besides the frameset tag, we also need the frame tag, which is similar to the table detail, or TD tag. This places content within the divided space. The frame tag behaves very similarly to an image tag, img, as it requires an src equals and some value. This locates the web page to display within the frame. There is no ending img tag. There's also no ending frame tag. And the frame tag is also similar to the anchor tag, A, as it requires a name equals value. You can't link to an anchor if it's not named. The same with the frame. We cannot populate a frame unless it's named. To create a frame, I suggest you first draw out the shape. In this case, I see 2 equal rows, so I code frameset rows equal, and as they're divided about half and half, 50%, comma, asterisk, and then I end the frameset. Now I need to add web pages to the carved spaces. I want page 1 to open in the top window and page 2 to open in the bottom window. Since I specified 50%, comma, asterisk, the first frame I mentioned will go into the first value I mentioned. Notice I've named my frame. Again, the second frame chooses page 2 and has a unique, meaningful name. Don't use reserved words such as top, middle, bottom, left, center, right. Again, the frame set has a beginning tag and an ending tag, but the frames themselves do not. But what can you put into well, if you carve up a web page with a frame set, you can either fill that frame set with a frame to hold a web page, or you can put another frame set in it, such as putting a table in a table. Here's a diagram. Frame set calls equals 50% comma asterisk is going to dig 2 holes into our browser window. But what can you put in each of those frame set holes? Using frame, we can add a web page to fill the first space. And in the second hole, we can add an additional frame set, dividing that into 2 holes. These new frame sets then can hold additional frame sets, or in this case, we'll put a frame into each hole to hold web pages. So our final result might look like the Texas flag, with one window open in the left column. The right column has been subdivided into 2 rows with different web pages opening in each of the holes. Let's review the steps. Draw out the shape, which goes all the way, rows or columns. In this case, columns. So I'll start with calls, and then I will subdivide the second column later. So taking our goal, so we start with frame set, calls equal 50% comma asterisk. Into the first hole, we add a frame with the source and the name. But what goes in that second space? Again, another frame set, but this time it will be divided into rows. So we add our frame set, rows equal 50% comma asterisk, and don't forget to end this new frame set. Now we can add the frames into the newly carved spaces. Don't forget, unique names, don't use reserved names. A couple of advanced attributes. Scrolling equals no removes the scroll bar, but this could prevent your users from seeing the entire page within a frame. The very unique no resize attribute, which doesn't have an equal or a value, prevents the end user from clicking on a frame border and dragging it to change the size. You might also visit the W3C website to look up frame spacing, frame padding, and frame border color. These change on occasion, so make sure you're using the most up-to-date attributes. Creating frames. Well, if you want to use an editor, you need to understand that NVU and Composer can't even spell frame. Dreamweaver CS5 or earlier, you can choose New, More, and Page from Sample to create a frame set. But Dreamweaver wants to create the frame and the pages that go into the frame at the same time. Will require you to edit the frame page code to point to existing web pages. Might be more trouble than it's worth. The newer versions of Dreamweaver can't even spell frame. They don't want to mess with it. So your best bet is to use a template. There is one other option, iframe. It's like picturing a picture on a TV set. It's very similar to the IMG tag in that we have iframe src equals a value to point to the web page to populate the space, and we need to determine the height and width with values. Then turn off the iframe tag. iframe is acceptable for my labs, but it doesn't really help you to learn the frame set tags. So if you're using an iframe, make sure you study the frame set and frame tags for any test. Refer to any documentation for more information.